Right then, so this is our first ever video diary of camper life.
Not the first ever. We did one at Oxford Bay.
Oxwich Bay, did we? Oh, right. Oh, yeah, of course we did, yeah. Okay, so it's our second ever video diary. So this is our first full week staying in the camper in our, around our normal life. So, around needing to drop off Arthur to school and collect Arthur from school and prepare dinners and do our normal routine. So we basically this last week, so it's Friday today. We've been in the camper since last Friday. So we stayed at a friend's on Friday night on his drive, and then we stayed at another friend's on Saturday night on their drive, and then we stayed at a campsite on Sunday night, and then we were into kind of normal school term routine. So we were going to doing the school run. So on Monday we tried driving the camper. So where we're actually parked now is the car park opposite Arthur's school. So we tried driving the camper here. That was kind of one experiment, and then I worked in the camper in the day, and then we drove back to the campsite in the evening, in the afternoon. The next day we tried. What did we do? Cycled. Oh yeah, we cycled to school, and actually on the Monday we went back to the went back to the campsite with the camper, and then we cycled to Arthur had a class at the leisure centre, so we cycled to that and cycled back. And then on the Tuesday we tried cycling to school, so that was okay. And then Wednesday we were leaving that campsite, so it is Avon Bank Meadows, beautiful campsite next to the River Avon, next to a lovely little village with a funny name called Wyrepiddle, just on the outskirts of Pershore. And so we were leaving that campsite on Wednesday, so we drove in the camper again, parked up. They found a nice spot just the other side of the park, and I worked from the camper all day. And then we tested out another campsite, which was, where was it? Oh, Malvern Hills. So we were there for one night. But last night was the sort of coolest thing to complete our experiment, because we basically still have a house, but that is being sold as part of the divorce. So it's about splitting assets and things like that. So the reason to have done this in the camper while we still got a house is to just actually have trial runs and try it out. And it's been really helpful, because I've been I popped home a few times to grab a few more things and feel pretty comfortable. And yeah, last night was sort of completing the different options of things we might get to do in the camper. So obviously staying at campsites is all good, staying on friends' drives is all good. And last night was actually staying out and about. So we basically parked up on the outskirts of Eckington near a really pretty loch at the sort of almost at the foot of Breeden Hill. So we've sort of done everything now, and it was all good. So what do you think, Arthur? How do you feel about our first week of experimenting, staying different places in the camper? You have to speak up a bit, probably.
Good.
Good, just good. What do you remember the most that's good or bad? When I did it, oh yeah, we yeah. That's to do with the Nintendo, not to do with the camper.
I said yes.
Yes. So what from our camper life in the last week do you remember the most? You're thinking because you had the choice to go home, didn't you? Because actually at first you were saying, oh, I don't know about staying somewhere sort of wild camping, I'm not sure. And then after a couple of days, you were basically saying, oh yeah, now I've stayed in the camper, I could see that we could live in it. And then I'd said about staying, going wild camping for an extra day somewhere, and you weren't sure. But then after being in it a few days, you were starting to say that would be a nice thing to do. So okay, I'll help you in a sec. So we've obviously got Lego on the go here, so that's sort of important basically.
I didn't see that arrow.
But
you go like that.
Nice.
I didn't see that.
But what would you want to change the next time we stay in the camper? What would you want to do differently?
I not go to school.
not go to school.
I don't
Brilliant.
like going to school.
Well, yeah, but that's not because you don't like school. It's because you want to spend more time with me when you're with me, or mummy when you're with mummy. Because there's a lot of changes going on in life, isn't there? And that's what we've said. We're going to start to call the house, and the camper the home. Because no matter where we move to, we want the camper to be the consistent, don't we? From place to place. So that's it really. That's sort of our first week. You got anything you want to say on our video diary? No, not really. You camera shy. Normally got lots to say, haven't you? But maybe if we do a few more of these, you might get used to it. But anyway, the important thing. Look, check this out.
I'm putting a piece
Arthur's
on
built
it.
that all himself,
I'm putting a
which
piece
is
on it.
awesome.
I'm putting it on the door. I think it's
Nice.
the door.
That was a gift from our friend Steve for
Tennis
Christmas. Tennis Steve. Haha. It's always that's a joke. So one of my closest friends, Steve. We also know another Steve that is a tennis instructor. So Arthur's joke, whenever I mention Steve, is Tennis Steve. And I'm like, well, whilst we're friendly, we're not necessarily friends with Tennis Steve. So anyway,
That
it's
is
entirely
yours.
boring, but that's it for the day. So today is a Friday. Arthur's going to go to school, and then he's with Emily for a week. So I'm hoping to get. Oh, there's been a couple of things that have happened actually that have just second that have sort of allowed me to learn a bit more about the camper. So we've got an update made to the 12-volt solar battery system, which I'll explain about separately. Anyway, it blew a few fuses, and I've learnt where the fuses are. I bought myself a multi-pack of fuses with actually LEDs in them. So when the fuse blows, an LED shines. So it's really easy to see if a fuse is blown. So that's a good tip. The other one was the shower tap was leaking. We thought it was a union that connects the pipe to the shower tap. Actually, it was the tap unit itself is split in half. So Charles at Junction 7 Motorhomes has been mega helpful. He said when I bought the camper, he'd give us 3 months warranty, and he's been absolutely fantastic with that. In our first trip to Oxwich Bay, the clutch was slipping, and he changed it like that, no quibbles. And then he's been helping me with like the fuses, because there's a couple of different locations for the fuses. One location is at the camper leisure battery. Another location is near the electrics. Again, I'll do something separate about that. And then he's been all good. He ordered a replacement tap, which should arrive today, which he'll fit today. If that happens, then I'm gonna drive somewhere on the Welsh coast and wild camp for a bit whilst working. So I've got my mobile 4G or 5G depending on the area, my mobile broadband set up, so I'll do something else about that. So yeah, this has been a really nice week to just iron out all the creases and work out how we can spend a load more time and maybe live in the camper. That's it for now. I'll keep you posted on our journey.